All right. So at Treehouse Trade School, we're creating a magic formula to help people master all trades necessary to develop resilient communities. And if you look at our logo, it is a tree, and this is called the Tree Scout. So it looks like a tree, but it's actually a person, a happy person. And the magic formula are the roots of that tree. It's all, if you imagine the roots of a tree, it's all the things necessary to create resilience. And the first root that grows out of a seed is part of the taproot, and there's a name for that. I should learn it. But the taproot is you and your community. And the deeper that root goes and the bigger it is, the more stable the tree is. So community is the main thing. You are the main thing. You're the center of your community. So your health and your wellness should come first, and that's mental, physical, spiritual, mind, body, soul. And a lot of us go through life never even having the opportunity to experience that. I was born as a builder, and I've been building since I was a little kid, and I didn't learn about how to actually properly lift or how to eat healthy or how to take care of myself until I was like in my 20s, late 20s and 30s. And so part of my motivation is to develop this trade school, not only to teach people how to build and grow food, but there are actually 6 layers of this root system. Seven, sorry, there's 7 layers. There's the community, which is the most important. Then there's 3 on each side. So there's sustenance, build, which is all things construction, including cars and tractors and things like that. There's energy, ecology, economy, and governance. So all of those, all 7 layers are necessary to develop resilience. And so along with this health and wellness curriculum that we've been working to develop for a while, those have ties, like each root is tied to the other root via mycelium, via information and connection and interchanging nutrients and wisdom and all that good stuff, just like you would with the roots of a tree. So all of that being said, if you're not already a member, I'd like to invite you to join the membership. We're basically creating the Netflix for resilience training. So we're bringing together professionals from all around the world, all walks of life, all skill sets. And we are recording these members calls. And then from these members calls, we're branching out even further and asking our guest speakers to create more classes. And we have a lot of cool ways of creating community around that and creating income for everyone. And our goal is to give 10% of the proceeds back to community service education projects and take the remaining 90% and develop Treehouse Trade School brick and mortar facility, community. And it's basically going to be like a Walt Disney World / shopping mall / adventure park / school, all rolled up into one. That will be an amazing place for all ages to go visit and learn and earn and return to the next generations. So with all of that, we'd like to welcome Dr. Allie Harpp, and I'm going to read her beautifully written introduction. Allie Harpp is a network spinal chiropractor. She's the founder of Emerge Chiropractic in Greenville, South Carolina. At her practice, Dr. Allie helps people unlock energy and alignment in every part of life. And her passion is guiding others to experience more connection, ease, and vitality within themselves to then be able to share their own gifts with others. So please join us to welcome Dr. Allie to share with us about Network Spinal.
Yay! Thank you so much, Scott. I'm so excited to be here and to share with you guys, just to make sure I have till 8 o'clock, correct? Scott,
Correct.
correct. Okay. Let me just make sure because I can just be rambling and it'll be 9 o'clock. Okay, so let me share my screen with you guys. Pull up my little presentation here. And this is a first for me, so it's going to be interesting not seeing anybody. Okay.
Mhm.
And just let me know that you can see when okay. Oh, wait, I can see everybody. Okay, awesome. Cool. All right. So, my name is Dr. Allie. I'm a network spinal chiropractor practitioner here in Greenville, South Carolina. So I'm just going to give you guys a little introduction first about me. I'm from upstate New York. I graduated from Sherman College of Chiropractic here in South Carolina a few years ago. But really, I want to talk about my chiropractic story. So, all my life, I knew that the body could heal itself. I just like innately knew it within me. And I didn't know, how I was going to share that with the world. I just was so passionate. I knew people needed to know this. I was going to be a massage therapist. I went into personal training. Um, I was doing bodybuilding shows, all this stuff. And I just was so passionate about sharing with people that what really like what it came down to was what their bodies were capable of. However, I was lost on my own journey, of course, as we sometimes are. I was um, deep into an eating disorder. I struggled with drug and alcohol abuse. Um, and it really just veered me off my path, but I always knew at my core I had more to share with the world. So I decided to flee from New York and remove myself from my situation and my current experience. And I became a personal trainer in North Carolina. However, as we'll talk about tonight, I really wasn't fixing the core of what was going on in my body. I was really just becoming a victim to my circumstance and thinking that if I remove myself from my circumstance, everything's going to be different, right? So I threw myself into the fitness world. I was doing CrossFit an ungodly amount, barely eating, stressing myself out, really not fixing the core of what was happening in my body, which again, we'll talk about. And I suffered from a really severe back injury, herniating 2 discs on my back at 23 years old, um, leaving me debilitated. I could barely walk. I could barely feel my right leg. And really everybody told me, they kind of laughed and brushed me off like, good luck healing that on your own. You're going to need that. I knew that skill. And now I know going on, just get rid of this pain, right? But now I know I can, and this was really a wake up call and a gift sustainable for me. I needed to make a change. So then, of course, COVID hit, and I was like, all right, I get it. I get it. I will go to chiropractic school. This is the final lesson, right? So I go to chiropractic school thinking that chiropractic is rack 'em, crack 'em. I had seen a chiropractor my whole life, and I just knew it worked, right? Like I didn't really know, I didn't understand how, but I knew there was something to this. Because I never had ear infections. My mom would have a headache. We'd go to the chiropractor. And it just worked. We just knew it helped our bodies function properly. So we go to chiropractic school and I hear this thing called network spinal. And it's this, if you guys ever look up the creator of network spinal, his name's Donnie Epstein. And he is a very accentuate, I don't know the word for it. Very, he moves around, he's very talkative, very excited about, very passionate. And I was like, who is this crazy guy? And no wonder people call us quacks, right? No wonder we call chiropractors quacks. This guy's insane. And someone was like, well, have you ever gotten network spinal care? And I was like, no, this is insane. You're just barely touching me. No, I need to hear a sound. So, of course, I couldn't really talk crap about it until I tried it. So I went and tried it, and everything was different from that moment on. I was no longer in search of pain relief. I realized the gifts and the discomfort that I had experienced in my life. I could breathe. I felt a connection to myself, and everything around me was suddenly changing. And I was like, what is this? this is why I'm here. And I get cold chills even now thinking about it, because I was like, this is why I'm here. This is what I need to share. So I'm so excited to be here to share this knowledge with you guys. And really share too, like some really amazing things that I get to see in my office on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so a few things that I want to go over tonight. Of course, I want to educate you guys on what network spinal is and get into some sciencey fun stuff, but also I want you to leave here feeling like you have new tools in your toolbox to experience life differently. Um, Really what I'm all about is not just pain relief, and escaping pain and the things that are wrong with us. However, it is all about, and we'll talk about this with the reorganizational healing aspect of this, but how can you live life the way you were meant to, the way God designed us, and through the path that you were put here on earth to do? That excites me so much more than your neck hurts, your back hurts. Let's fix that. Okay. So let's get into a little bit about what is the nervous system. All right, sorry, I'm moving my little so I can see my screen here. Okay, so the nervous system is housed within our spine, starts in our brain, in our skull, and it travels all the way down our spine. And our spine has a really important job of protecting our nervous system. However, I just lost my train of thought. It protects our nervous system. Also, it keeps us upright, right? If we didn't have our spine to keep us upright in our posture, we'd kind of just be like limp and falling over to the side. And our nervous system is so important because it is our human operating system. So think of like the hard drive in your phone, the hard drive of a computer is our operating system. Not only is it how our organs function, how our body knows when to digest food, telling our lungs to breathe, telling our heart to beat, faster, slower. However, is also how we experience life. It is our connection to God, is our connection to others. It is how Scott is thinking of all these amazing ideas to create this community, right? It is our connection to the physical world and the not physical world. So, of course, this operating system, we would want to be 100% clear so we can experience life at 100% capacity, right? So, what happens when and how does this get distorted? So, that's what I want to talk about and what we address with network spinal. So, in our life, when our body experiences, whether it be physical, chemical, or emotional stresses, which I talk a lot about in my office to new people that come in, our body, when it doesn't have the ability to adapt to those stresses, our body starts to physically downsize. And I always use the example in my office of like a scared dog, right? When you see a scared dog, they tuck their tail and they tuck their head. Our bodies do the same thing. So over time, when our bucket is too full, our body starts to downsize, creating tension. I don't know if you guys can see me, but just think of that image of a scared dog, right? Or someone, we all can notice each other's posture, right? When people start to kind of get like that we let's see here. Also, when our bucket is full, and we'll talk about this a little bit more later on, but when our bucket is full, our body's only focus is survival, base metabolic function, existing and experiencing life through a very small amount of energy. So, what does this look like? Some examples that everybody can relate to. When you're driving down the street and you're having a busy day and you're just like, okay, I got to do this, got to do this, got to do this. Okay, we're good, we're good. And then someone cuts you off and it's like all hell has broken loose. And now this person who you don't even know is the worst person to ever exist on the planet. And you're like, whoa, that wasn't even that big of a deal. Why am I losing my mind right now? Right? Or so many things are happening at home. Your kids are screaming, you're trying to cook dinner, and then all of a sudden your kid like knocks something over and it breaks, and you're like, now you are having a mental breakdown on your poor child, and you're like, this is not me. What is happening? your nervous system has a certain capacity, right? And now you've been in survival for so long, your body is being sent off the deep end. All right, so this distortion and these different patterns in our body is called vertebral subluxation. So a typical chiropractor who is focused on moving your bone is going to find a bone that is putting pressure on a nerve within your nervous system, altering the function, which we're about to talk about here in a little bit, and moves that bone back into place, and thus function is restored. Network spinal is different because it takes it one step further, and this tension and distortion that I'm actually going to show you pictures of in the next slide, this tension and distortion that's created in our spine, it's unwinding that rather than just addressing the bone that is out of place. So with that being said, vertebral subluxation, to go into a little bit more sciencey. So what happens is now that these nerves, the function is being distorted, there is reduced coherence. So really that's just a fancy way of saying when you go see, say you're going to listen to an orchestra, okay? If everybody's instrument was tuned properly, everyone was starting music. Music. However, and if like one instrument or two instruments are kind of like offbeat and maybe like tuned not quite right, or like, oh my gosh, I cannot listen to this. It's like you can just feel it in your bones, right? That's the same thing happening in our system. Our body is experiencing this subluxation or distortion within our spinal cord. It's altering the sound wave that our body is able to, creating a different resonance, which I know this might sound a little confusing. We're going to go over this, but a different resonance being sent out into the body, altering the function. So speaking of function, altering not only neurological, so how your nervous system is functioning, but also biomechanical. So that's why over time, when our body is experiencing this distortion, now your muscles might not be functioning properly, and now you have like a shoulder injury. You're like, oh man, I'm really active, but like my shoulder, I hurt my shoulder because literally how your body can move in space is altered. Okay. Where your body can feel itself in space, called proprioception. If you close your eyes, you can kind of have a sense of where your arms and hands are. That's all distorted. Also, like I just talked about, altered adaptability. So that's when you're driving down the road and someone cuts you off, and now your body's like in pure fight or flight survival mode. Another thing I wanted to mention with just your body living in a sense of fight or flight. I feel like that is a hot topic word now, is this nervous system regulation and sympathetic and parasympathetic. Um, it is very important because when our body is in survival, there's only a baseline of things that our body can actually accomplish, right? Our body is really only concerned about, am I alive? Am I safe? Am I in danger? It is not concerned about connecting with people. It's not concerned about forming community. It's not concerned about healing an old knee injury, hip injury, whatever that may be. Its concern is am I alive? For as we are able to bring the body into a more parasympathetic state, that's when we can heal, we can rest and digest. We are excited about forming community because our body has the energy to do so. Okay. How am I on time? Okay, awesome. All right, so to give you a visual, I'm very visual, so I love visuals. This was the man had disc injuries, some type of injury. They still had altered function, and he couldn't quite understand. He was very interested in, why is this happening? Why is, even when I'm doing this surgery on people, it should fix their issue, right? But it wasn't. So he did lots of really cool studies and research and took different pictures of spinal cord tension within the body and how it's affecting the system. discovered that cord is a tension sensitive organ. And when it gets stuck in chronic tension, function suffers. So this is where that altered, that the nervous system, we like to think of it as like this electrical impulse. We know now that it's actually sound. So this orchestra example becomes even cooler because that's literally what's happening in your body. Okay, so it's exactly like tuning a guitar. When you tune a guitar, it's this beautiful sound, but when it's out of tune, it's like nails on a chalkboard, right? So that's literally what's happening within our nervous system. So if you see, let's see, let's look at this bottom right picture. This is a really cool example. So the left photo, don't worry about like the flexion extension stuff, but that photo of the spine on the left, um, that's with healthy um healthy function, right? There's a lot, you can see like it's lax, there's space. All those little red lines are all the blood supply going to the nerves. So clearly the nerves are getting really good blood supply, all the things. The one next to that is super stretched out. This is what's happening when your body is experiencing that spinal cord tension. And this direction would be that like forward head posture, kind of that like curve in the upper mid back, all that kind of stuff, really stretching the cord. And you can see here, not only is it altering the function of your nerves, it is also reducing the blood supply of those nerves. And obviously, our blood supply is very important, right? It brings all the nutrients and all the good things to help that thing continue to function, right? Taking the bad stuff out, bringing the good stuff in. Let's see here. Yeah, this top left picture, again, just kind of showing you how everything is lax, there's space, right? And then that right, I don't know if you guys are following me here, but the top left picture, you can just tell between the two, like, yeah, good blood flow, all that good stuff. And then you can really see where everything is kind of like super pinched off, right? Okay. And then also this bottom left picture is showing that kind of like top down view where it almost looks like a little white thing inside a big dark kind of thing. That is looking down top, uh, actual is being pulled from a like front back, that forward head posture, but it's also being recorded. It's called lateral bending. So that means also that high shoulder stuff that's happening cord within the canal. Okay, cool. So that can the creator of network spinal, this is a famous quote from him. The shape, position, tension, tone, and energetics of your spine is consistent with the shape, position, tension, tone, and energetics of your life. So, bringing it all together, now we're really going to get to what I love the science, but like the energetics, just I love it. I love it. This is what people can really relate to, right? And this is what really creates change. It helps give you your power back to be the leader of your own life, right? So, like I said, this is distorting the sound wave being sent to your whole body, and your nervous system is how you experience life. So, when the tone, the tension, the position of your spine is altered and distorted, that is directly a reflection of not only your health, right? Your connection to self, but also how you experience life and the energetic bandwidth you have and how you're experiencing life from that, which that might have been kind of a jumble of words, but we'll get into that in a second. All right. So, manifestation. So this isn't manifestation as in like I'm going to manifest, you know, my husband and $1 million and a perfect house, all that kind of stuff. Manifestation of like literally how is your life self-organizing? All right? So On one hand, we have the available energy being able to be accessed within your system, your nervous system, right? Your body. And then also something called innate intelligence. And innate intelligence is the invisible forces that when you cut your hand, you're not thinking about, okay, now I need to send out these cells, and now I need to start sending all the things that clot my blood, and now I need to form a scab. Now that scab's good to fall off, all those things. It's also the forces that when you eat a meal, your body just knows and knows to digest. This is innate intelligence, the invisible forces that Donnie calls them creation's codes, the codes that really just are these invisible forces that are running life, right? Running how that can manifest in relation to the amount of energy that's in your system. And that is the manifestation of self-organization in life. So, as a little example, or if you think of just water, right? When you take energy away from water, it turns into ice. And when you add energy to water, it turns to steam. And I love this example because that's literally what I'm feeling when I touch your spine on the table. I'm feeling is this ice, is this like hard, like it does not want to even be touched, maybe like it is like a brick. Is it water? Is it fluid? Is it ready? Is it adaptable? Or is it steam? And it's just like, whoo, it is already so connected, and we are just adding and amplifying to that. All right, so let's get into the real fun stuff, the seasons of well-being. And again, this is determined by the energy state of your system, how much energy your system has access to. All right, so, and I know this is a lot of words, but I'm going to go through it with you guys. So first is that metabolic function, or that like survival mode that I talked about, right? So this is your body feeling like ice. This is being a victim of your circumstance. This is like base metabolic function. All I care about is myself. All I care about is getting out of this pain. I am my this is me, you know, doing my thing with my drugs, alcohol, my eating disorder. This is about me. This is my circumstance. I need to get out. When I get out of this circumstance, I will be better. This is that base metabolic function, the survivor. All we're concerned about is survival. And I have stages 1 through 3 written here. And that has to do with a book that I'm gonna recommend for you guys if this is like super lighting you up. But there, within Donnie's teachings, there are 12 stages of healing. And this is the first 1 through 3. So, some thoughts that people might be thinking, and I feel like when I talk about this too, everybody knows the person that you just like hurt talking to, right? Like, you're like, oh, how are you? And they're like, oh, well, where do I even begin? My job and it's like everything they're talking about is literally, you guys are smiling. Like, you had someone come to mind. It's like, oh God, do I even like ask them how they're doing? Because I already know. And not only that, but when you, like, even come around them, you're like, "Oh gosh," because their body's literally giving out that resonance, right? So some thoughts that they might be you yourself might be experiencing this too, right? Because there's a gift in all of it. Something feels off, but I don't really know what. It's like I'm not really connected to myself. Everything's kind of separate from me. I'm my circumstances. This is like really where our medical model stops. It's like I just want this pain and stress to stop because it's annoying and I don't have the time or energy to worry about being uncomfortable, right? Just please fix this for me. Also, again, circumstances. Why does this keep happening to me? And that is because our body is literally sending out the signal through our nervous system, this resonance of like attracting this vibration, right? Because we are vibration, we are sound vibration through our nervous system. And we're like, just keep bringing it in, keep bringing it in. Seeking, again, behavior, seeking relief or solutions, going to the doctor. I have this pain. What can you do to fix it? Noticing old patterns repeatedly. I see this so much in my office where a woman will be telling me about how she had an alcoholic father or an abusive father, and now she's had 2, 3 marriages that are also abusive or an alcoholic, or I got this job and I hated it. And then I got fired. And then I got this other job. I hated it. I got fired. It's just like our body is repeating this pattern because when things happen to us and again, body just wants to survive, right? When these things happen to us and we do survive, our body's like, "Oh, cool. Okay. When this thing happened, we were okay. Next time this thing power and we'll be okay again." Your system. So how do I just get through this? How do I just survive another day? Another thing I love when people first start care with this early survivor stage is they're like, whoa, I never like felt myself breathe. Or like, whoa, I felt like I got up and I feel really calm. Like I felt like my body kind of ease up. It's like, yeah, you're finally connecting the dots. You're finally being present and part of your own story of your own healing. Um, I'm sure we all can feel the feelings of this early discover survival stage, frustration, tired, overwhelmed. A big part of this is just feeling stuck. Like no matter what I do, nothing changes. What the heck? No matter what I do, I've gone to this doctor, I've gone to this chiropractor, I've gone to this massage therapist, I've gone to a nutritionist, I've done this and that. Nothing is changing. And the exciting part about this is when the body has like the teeniest, tiniest amount, little more of energy, there starts to become this really cool curiosity of like, wait, maybe, just maybe, there is something more happening here. And I have Wizard of Oz written here because I love using this as an example. When you think about the story of the Wizard of Oz and Dorothy having to get home, right? That is like her main concern. Like, I need to get home. What is going on? And throughout the story, she's getting more and more information, more and more energy, right? Like the energy is building. And they're like, there's this guy, he's the wizard, and he is going to fix all of our problems. And they're like energized by each other's problems, right? Which how often have we seen that? Like people just getting, especially maybe right now in the world, right? Everybody's getting fueled by each other's issues and problems and frustrations. And they're like, this guy, we're gonna go find this guy and he's going to fix it all and he has the answers, right? There's like this outside source that is holding the answers. So when the body has just a little bit more energy and information, the spinal cord is starting to unwind, the nervous system has a greater bandwidth, more access, more connection. This is what we call transform. And this is so fun and so apparent when people are in the office because they're like, what is going on? Everything that I once knew makes no sense anymore. Um, which is it's scary but exciting, right? Like the unknown. This is the logical mind. So this is when this starts to kick on when kids are around like 5, 6, 7, when you start having to realize like, where do I fit in? I have to follow rules. If I follow these rules, people will like me. I'll kind of make my way through life, right? But then that doesn't really work for us anymore. And when people are energized and transformed, they're like, what rules? Why have I been these rules aren't even mine. I didn't even decide what do I get to say? I didn't even decide in these rules, right? And again, with that Wizard of Oz, that's when they all see like, wait, this big wizard guy has just been this weird guy behind this curtain this whole time. What? And then all of a sudden the energy shifts when you have that realization, like, I've been putting my faith in this magical thing, this mysterious thing that I think is going to fix all my problems. And in reality, it's like total BS. Okay, so some thoughts behind this are like really just taking your power back, right? That's like the theme of transform. It's like sitting on a motorcycle and just revving the engine. Like you can feel the energy start to build, energy for change. I'm stronger than I thought. I can't keep living the way I used to. Like, what are these rules, these fake rules that I've been living in this whole time? All these expectations that like I didn't even put those there. Who put those on me? Also, what triggers you doesn't have the same grip. So I have this guy in my office who He's really in transform right now, which is so fun. He came in today and it's always so exciting what he has to say. But he told me the other day, like, when I experience discomfort now, the way it used to totally send him over the edge and trigger him into like, oh my gosh, my life is over. There's something wrong with me. What do I need to do? And he said it would like, he'd like lose it for a while, like trying to figure out what was going on. But now he said, one, things don't trigger him the way they used to at all. But now he's like, my neck's kind of hurting. I think that my body is trying to adapt to something, and there's something I'm not paying attention to, or there's something, it's like really where your body experiences pain and discomfort now as a gift and an opportunity, like a calling of what is life asking of me, rather that like teeny tiny, water is ice of discover and survival of this is happening to me again. I wish this would just stop. And this is where I love, because this is what it's all about, right? Like this is truly giving you resilience, which is the whole theme of Scott, which I love. True resilience of taking your power back and realizing that you are in control of not only your health, your life, all of the things, right? So again, this is letting go of old habits and relationships that drain energy. I have another example. I had this lady in my office who like only if I marketed to or like put a warning like may divorce your husband when you or quit your job. I have another lady who like 2 weeks under care, she's like, I'm quitting my job. I hate it. I all this whole time I thought I loved it. I actually hate it. I have this lady under care now who I think it was like maybe 3 weeks into care, right? She was like, I I have to leave my husband. Like I realized this whole time I was just like so disconnected to him, but I didn't really care. And now I literally can't stand it. Like I'm you have this like spark of energy, you realize that, holy cow, how have I been living my life? It's because you were making it about you, and Survivor, we make it about you. And suddenly when we like see this man behind the curtain, it's not just about us anymore. We're like, whoa, it's like you can't unsee it. And she also told me last time she came in, she's like, I'm getting a new job. Like I was waiting for that. I knew it was only a matter of time. Um, Speaking up more, setting boundaries, taking on new challenges with confidence. Now we have this extra energy in our system, and everything doesn't feel like daunting and gross and overwhelming, right? We're like, okay, I have this energy to do more. Like, what can I do? What can I do to create more connection? What can I do now that I'm truly living in who I really am? Also, feeling emotions more fully, right? So oftentimes in the office, when people first start care, yes, you get to experience more joy, more excitement, more connection, but also there's such a gift in experiencing the difficult emotions too. And when we're in that survivor, forget it. Like we don't even have the capacity to live our life, let alone experience a difficult emotion. So with this like more connection, more excitement, we're also really able to feel the deep emotions that maybe for a very long time we've been pushing down. And that's what comes up in the office a lot too, is like after the session, I just had the deepest cry I've ever experienced in my life. Or like I thought I had healed through this, but like, wow, it's still like it was deep down in there. For me, when I first started Network Spinal, I was like, man, I got some anger that I did not know was there. I was be on the table and like be making fists and just so angry. I was like, whoa, what is this? But what a gift to now fully be able to experience that emotion, right? And we think about the lens of the world that we're living in, all of the things that we're doing now are really to like such a discover survivor, like escape that. SSRIs, yeah, antidepressants, all of the antipsychotic medication that is out there. Um, if that's your choice, absolutely no judgment. However, just having the awareness to know that all of these medications, really all the things, even marijuana, alcohol, all the things are really disconnecting us from allowing us to experience true, full emotion. Again, moving through them instead of that stuck feeling of like discovered, stuck, ew, gross. Again, feeling energized, empowered, alive, taking your power back. Um, emotional intensity. Again, like I just talked about, sometimes joy, sometimes anger, sometimes sadness. Like it's moving through you instead of just getting stuck and like being, you're all just part of your circumstances. Again, hopeful, motivated to grow and see what you can create. Okay. This is really where really comes in. Because Survivor, it's about way more. We realize like that steam, the water to steam, right? Like you are adaptable, your body is functioning properly, not even properly, like to the utmost capacity. Um, and we recognize that it's not about us anymore, right? I have how many perspectives can you hold? So even just now, right? Thinking about, okay, I'm going to sign on to this call because I want this knowledge. Okay, cool. I'm going to sign on to this call because I could meet someone new and I'm part of this really cool community. And then also the perspective of multiple things call because and community impact and house them. So now just holding a perspective of like it's so much bigger than that. And that's where the magic of life is, right? When we no longer are a victim of our circumstances, but our body has enough energy to truly experience and create true impact. And again, it becomes how do I create the biggest impact, right? It's not just I'm in pain. How do I get out of this pain? It's like, whoa, this is happening for a reason. And how do I turn this into a gift? Right. Um, just like me with my network spinal journey, right? I went through this, and I'm sure everybody has an experience that you look back on and you're like, wow, if that didn't happen to me, I would not be where I am right now. And you can see it as a gift. And that's like true tapping into this higher level of energy within your system, this super high energy of coherence, like all the instruments are tuned, the orchestra is fully in sync, and it is like Beethoven, right? Like this beautiful, beautiful song. Um, some thoughts, life is flowing through me. I feel connected to not only to myself, but others and something greater, something that like my logical mind can't even comprehend because it's so awesome. I know it's not even in me, it's outside of me and beyond, right? Again, challenges are opportunities for growth. Like, oh, this neck pain again, what the heck? No, this neck pain because I need to listen to my body. Something's happening and something needs to change. I'm living the life I'm meant to live. Behaviors expressing creativity, generosity, gratitude, living in alignment, inspiring others. So, like that person that you walk in the room and you're like, "Oh, disgusting. I don't want to be around you." Now you just like they have the opportunity to make you feel like, "Ew, gross. I need to be away from this person." You have the opportunity to, again, our nervous systems are resonance to share that with the people around you. And just like that person that we know like is painful to be around, we also know a person that when they walk in the room, you're like, whoa, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know who that person is, but I want to be a part of whatever they are doing. It's because your nervous system is literally with little feelers like the mycelium that Scott was talking about, right? Same exact thing. Your body can feel the resonance of their system, and you're like, whoa, I don't know what they're doing, but I need to know them. And inspiring others without even really doing anything. You're just present. Again, deep peace, joy, fulfillment, connection, spiritual awakening, higher purpose, like knowing this happened to me because I have a gift. There's a gift in this. Okay. Okay, so let's experience it. So I want you to think of something. Scott, be careful because I think you're on a treadmill. Maybe press the pause button. Okay, so I want you guys to get into a posture if you're sitting. Um, and I want you to think about something that brings you so much pain, something really awful that happened to you, a really terrible experience, maybe in the past or something you're experiencing right now. And I want you to do that. And I want you to tuck your chin and let your shoulders kind of roll forward and kind of just slouch down and think about something that is like so painful. It feels like it's never going to end, it's never going to change. And just kind of recognize like how your body's feeling, maybe your breath, maybe the energy space around you. And then I want you to try to think about that same thing. I want you to open your chest, heart lifted, shoulders back, and let your head tilt up to the ceiling. Good. And then maybe even put your arms out like you're reaching out to the sky. Scott, people are gonna think you're totally crazy. Like, what's that actually? What's that guy doing? But you're probably gonna be so coherent. They're like, I don't even know what he's doing, but I feel like I should be doing it too. And then again, just try to think of that circumstance of like that painful thing that feels like it's never gonna end. And again, just see like, can you even think about it? Where's your breath at? Beautiful. And then whenever you guys are done having that experience, you go ahead and just let your arms down. Beautiful. And that's literally what's happening in your nervous system, guys. Like, also think about what are we doing all the time, looking at all of the possible information that is designed to keep us perpetually in fear. And we're looking at it like this, like heads tucked, our shoulders curved around, creating so much tension in our spinal cord. So just creating an even more, yeah, survival response, right? So I don't know what y'all experience with that, but hopefully, um, a new level of awareness, right? Like the state of your posture is directly going to affect how you experience your life and your circumstances and what is happening around you. Okay, so that's where this, and I know I'm running low on time, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up. That's where this reorganizational healing model comes into play and why I love network spinal so much. There's amazing studies if anybody's into research. I'm more than happy to send this to you, but there are really awesome studies about network spinal and people doing all the things. But when they do network spinal, they naturally want to make healthier choices. So when you have this new level of energy in your system, in your nervous system, your body just naturally wants to make healthier choices, whether that be a different lifestyle, how you're eating, relationships, forming that, all those types of things, your body naturally just wants to do it. Again, effortlessly wanting to make healthier lifestyle choices. This is now not something daunting and gross, like, oh, I gotta go to the gym. I gotta go take this supplement. I gotta go do this. It's like, oh, what can I do next? Like, what can I do to amplify my life experience? Sustainable increased quality of life even in the face of life challenges. So I always joke with my people like, look, if I had a pill that could just like erase all the stress of your life, we'd be having a totally different conversation, right? But that is just not reality of life. We're going to experience stress, the range of emotions that I talked about, but is our body able and sustainable to react and adapt in the face of those stresses, no matter what they may be? And then I talked about this viewing symptoms and disease, that's typically designed to interrupt our life. So again, that like neck pain, back pain, autoimmune, whatever it may be, is this really like something I need to fix, or is this an invitation, a calling, an opportunity for change? Um, Donnie says, the creative network spinal, he says pain is really just designed to interrupt our life. And it's so funny too when I talk to people in the office, they'll be like, "Yeah, this neck pain, this back, like this thing started." I'm like, "Oh, what was happening in your life?" They're like, "Oh, well, I got a divorce, I lost my job, I this, I that." So our body literally is telling us like, "Hey, something has to change." And we do to show you, except we know. So with that, I'm perfect. 2 minutes to spare. Holy crap, what is she talking about? I want to know more. These are three really awesome, and if you want, I can send the link to this to Scott or whatever, reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to share this information with you. Three resources. So one I was talking about with those stages within the different levels of energy. It's called 12 Stages of Healing, written by Donnie. And it's so cool because of course we're going to ebb and flow, right? Like we were not meant to live in this like super high awakened state. There's gifts and discover. So learning about all stages and recognizing where you are in those stages, because when you have that awareness, now you can claim something new. So 12 Stages is a really cool read. Seeker's Code, I would recommend to everybody. It's an incredible, incredible, incredible book. Um, yeah, it's an awesome read. Highly recommend. It's in the self-help category, but it is like so beyond self-help. It is incredible. Highly recommend. The last one is Somato Respiratory Integration. So this is just a tool within, I do help your uh, nervous system, like, truly having the experience body. And it's a breathwork technique. So if you guys Google YouTube somato respiratory integration, chiropractors and docs that have some videos to walk you through that. Um, but I'm trying to think. There is a somato integration book, but I think just watching the video and having the experience is a little bit easier. Um, but yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for being interested in what I do. This like lights me up. I love to talk. I love to educate. I love to share this because it changed my life and humanity is ready for a change and this is what's going to do it. What Scott is creating community, um, helping people become more connected to themselves and realizing that there's so much more out there than our circumstances and surviving, and becoming more connected with not only ourselves but others. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, I know we're running low on time, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you're like, I want to see what she's doing in the office, feel free to shoot me an email, give me a call. Um, yeah, thank you guys so
We
much.
uh
Yeah, thank you guys so
we
much.
Mara has a question for you right now. Do we have time?
Yeah, I have time. Oh my goodness.
All right. So my question is, what does a normal day in the patient room look like? Like how does a service happen?
Yeah, so great question. So everything I do is super gentle and it's really not any deeper than how you would check the ripeness of like an avocado. Doing is air your are finding like, "Oh, let's fix that. This is on, let's fix that." Are experiencing this coherence that we're talking about, are working really well together, expanding upon that. So I find areas in your body that um, are just working really well together, right? It's called a spinal gateway. And I make a contact on that. And I like to use the example of like updating your phone, right? When you update your phone, you just press a little and you know, and are so much more incredible than our phone, right? I'm just giving your body a little bit of it, and your body knows what to do to with the rest, and truly upgrading just like your phone. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think you were
Thank you.
breaking up a little bit
I
during
was.
that, but I got the summary of, you just
Yes.
push a little button on your
Okay.
phone and it
Push the little button on your
upgrades, right?
phone. And your body's way cooler than a phone, right? Like your body is so much smarter than your phone.
Wow.
Yeah, but
You
everything
you
is super
know,
gentle. Yeah.
I just wanted to say a comment. I think my whole body came into alignment first of all just reading about what you sent me earlier to say about you, which was like I was like writing it down and I'm like, oh wow, that's amazing. And then
Mhm.
as you're talking, I had so much inspiration and ideas while you were talking that I can't even lay it out right now, but I will say what you just presented was amazing job, first of all.
Thank
And
you.
second of all, it's going to impact like the way I think about things for the rest of my life, I think. Like it's I understood a little bit about the nervous system, and I think I understood a little bit about, you know, how it gets kinked off and subluxation and stuff like that. But I just made this connection that like your nervous system, well, first of all, this is crazy because earlier today or maybe yesterday, I was thinking about all the different wavelengths. And I'm thinking about, you know, we have light, like everything's a wavelength, and we have light and we have sound. And I was like, what other wavelengths, you know, do we have, and where are they integrated into life and different aspects? So you talking about the nervous system as sound waves was one mind-blowing thing, number one. And and then I was thinking about how God is like, if a fully functioning nervous system is like God presence, and then
Mhm.
pain is like the enemy. You know, I'm always trying to think about it from like a like a Christian standpoint, or like so,
Yeah.
trying to communicate to people in the spiritual world or something like that. But it's like it's all the same to me, really. But it's all like it just brings it together so well, you know, all of God's creation. You're frozen again.
Yeah, and it's all about two thing I talk about in my office is that realization and understanding. Oh, hold on. Am I good?
We Yeah, you're good now. Got you back.
Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Um, that's a really cool thing too that when I talk about in the office is like when you have this understanding of the energetics and where what your experience is going to be in that energetic, and you have that awareness, now you can make a new choice because that's what it's all about, right? Like if I make a choice from where I'm at right now, I'm now aware of what life is going to look like around me. And now if I make a new choice and I claim something different, I know what things are going to be like, right? Like we know when you have a bad day and you're okay, now everything garbage, right? Like I woke up on the wrong side, now I'm late for work and there's traffic and there's this and this is where the energy shifted. And then stopping it and thinking I'm claiming more, I'm claiming an outcome, and boom, everything changes without doing a single thing. Everything is different, which is cool.
That's so
Efficiency.
awesome. Yeah. Wow. Um, Allie, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for this, and I'm really looking forward to expanding on what all you just talked about, and you know, creating some more classes with you, because definitely
So
part of the culture for the trade school.
yeah,
So
awesome.
good.
Cool. Thank you guys so much. And
Do
I'm
you have any
so
other
honored and blessed to
questions?
be part of this. Any more questions?
Absolutely. All right. Well, yeah, we are honored and blessed to have you here tonight, and thank you for taking the time. Looks like we might be frozen again. Is it Allie or is it me?
Mhm.
Okay, we're back. We're back just in time to say goodbye, y'all. I think we had some technology issues, but we'll work that out. And this is going to be, well, this is being recorded, and this will be uploaded to YouTube, made available to the public, and it will also be loaded into the membership. So if you are already a member, you'll be able to go and watch replays. And then, so we're going to have it actually in two places within the membership. One will be like in the replays of the weekly meetings, and then we'll create another location for these at like the the core, the first part of your class series if you continue making classes. So If you're not a member, get one at treehousetradeschool.com. Allie, if anybody wants to be an instructor, you get a free membership. So, Allie, I think you have a link, but make sure you get the link and then join, and you'll get text messages every week, a couple times a week. You'll have notifications of new classes that drop, invitation to all the weekly Tree Scout coaching calls, full access to all of the curriculum, and invitation to the monthly in-person events, which the next one is actually this Saturday, the Native Plant Festival in Seneca, South Carolina. So love you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining, and we will look forward to seeing you on the next one. Y'all have a
Thank
great
you guys
night.
so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Peace out, Tree Scouts.